Welcome to 70-411, Administering Windows Server 2012. This is the second exam in the MCSA, the Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate certification for Windows Server 2012. I'll be your host, Garth Schulte. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us here at CBT Nuggets. In this nugget, we're going to take a high-level look at the exam, the technologies that you'll need to be familiar with, and we'll also look at all the resources that you can use here at CBT Nuggets to help you prepare for the exam. Let's do it. 70-411 picks up right where 70-410 left off. There is a little bit of crossover between these exams, but there are quite a few new technologies that you'll need to be familiar with here for 411. Like 410, 411 is broken out across 6 sections worth of objectives, with near equal distribution here, just a little lighter of a focus on NPS and Active Directory. Now, we've structured the nuggets in this course based on the objectives on Microsoft's exam page, which you can access here using the short URL, which is case sensitive. Let's head over to that 70-411 exam page and take a look at the technologies we're going to need to know. So here is the page. I'm sure you've done this many times before. Head down to Skills Measured, and you will see those 6 objective sections. Each one of these sections is broken out into 3 or more subsections with the actual objectives underneath. Now, the first thing I would do is head to this page and see if you can list the technologies that are tested for each one of these sections. If not, study this list and get familiar and make a list of all those technologies. And then you'll have a nice reference point that you can go through for the technologies that you feel comfortable with and the ones that you'll need to hit a little harder to fill those gaps. So for instance, deploy, manage, and maintain servers. This consists of Windows deployment services and Windows Server update services. File and print services consist of distributed file system, as well as FSRM, the file system resource manager, and even BitLocker and the encrypted file system. Do that for each one of these until you're comfortable and you know all the technologies within. Now, we've designed this course to closely follow and map to these objectives. So once you hit a section, I'll give you that section overview, which will just go over all the objectives, technologies, and also talk about how the virtual lab is laid out. Then you'll get a nugget for each one of these subsections. And many of the big subsections we've broken out into multiple nuggets. So that way we have a nugget for installation and configuration, and then a nugget to go over all of these other generally management and implementation objectives. Speaking of the virtual lab, this course is lab heavy. You're going to be getting very hands-on, up close and personal with all of the technologies in 70-411. Every nugget that has a lab has its own lab that contains all the machines that you'll need for working with that specific technology. Here's how we laid it out. All our machines are using the 192.168.1.100/24 address space. We have a gateway at .1. All of our core machines will be IP'd between 100 and 109. So our domain controllers and our file servers and our DNS and our DHCP servers. All of our supporting machines will be in the range of 110 to 119. So our WDS and WSUS and our Hyper-V server and all that stuff. And then all of our client machines will be 120 and up. So we'll be working with Client NUG and Client 2 NUG. Almost every lab will have a 2012 server as well as a Windows 8.1 client. That way you can see how these technologies work from all perspectives. If a nugget has an associated virtual lab, which all of them do except the section overviews, you will see this link on the right-hand side of the course page. Click on that, it'll fire up a browser and plant you right in to our lab UI, which is very simple to work with. Now, a lab could consist of 1 or 2 machines, or as many as we have here, which is 5 machines. We have a domain controller, 3 file servers, and a client machine. This was one of our DFS nuggets. And what's really nice about this lab UI is you can easily bounce between machines just by clicking on them. It'll plant you into that machine. You'll easily tell where you are because we've included BG info into these machines. That way, it'll burn information about that machine into the wallpaper there. So you'll easily tell what machine you're on when you're bouncing around between them. So virtual labs are perfect for following along, for practicing and getting up close and personal with that technology. Another great feature we have built into the website to help you prepare for exams are quizzes. These were designed to test your basic knowledge on the topic and validate the amount of time you've spent watching that nugget. So you'll notice there's little markers on the timeline when you're watching a video. As soon as that marker is hit, a quiz will pop up in real time. You can also access all of the quizzes from the quiz tab on the page itself. Whenever you attempt a quiz question and get it right, your minutes will be validated for the amount of time between those markers. So if you get a quiz question wrong, you have the ability to hit this review video link here, which will take you back to the starting point where you can find the answer for that content. We also provide Transcender practice exams for 70-411, which will give you a very realistic exam experience. So make sure you run through these. They're great practice and they'll get you prepared for the kinds of questions that you're going to face in the real exam. And finally, upon course completion, you will have access to the supplemental files for this course, which will contain all of the PowerShell code and scripts and commands that we use in the virtual lab. So make sure that you use all of these resources. They will improve and reinforce your learning experience. Your journey through 70-411 begins now. Good luck, and I'll see you on the inside. Until then, I hope that this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.